Hi guys, and welcome to Reality with T. So I am back watching Married at First Sight. I want to go over the fourth episode, but first, I'm gonna go over the fourth episode, but I'm probably also gonna just catch up on all the couples separately because I honestly feel like we might have another crap show on our hands. Okay. Either way, please, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Leave me some comments at the end. Let me know what you think, okay? All right, let's jump right into it. I'm just gonna go in the order. I'm gonna do the couples in the order that I took my notes. But honestly, I've been feeling like the first three episodes have been kind of boring. The wedding episodes were kind of boring. I understand it's like we want some kind of a balance between reality show drama and just being authentic, but I don't know. Nothing has really moved me. Honestly, these couples really haven't moved me that much yet, the way I felt strongly about other couples, but let me get into it real quick. So, Rachel and Jose, okay? And remember, I'm just starting from episode 4. I have thoughts about things that have happened in other episodes, so that's why I'll probably go couple by couple and just kind of do a quick overview of what I think of them. But I think Jose, I feel like these are two people that they brought together that are very insecure about themselves or don't know who they are. They don't know themselves very well. Because with Jose, you hear a lot about his degrees, his master's degree. He paid off his loans and everything, and that's his selling point. And that's the thing that is supposed to bring women to him. And he also wants them to be in the same place that he is. And then with Rachel, I hope that's her name. I hope I'm not mixing them up. But she talks a lot about all the weight that she lost and, hoping, and they both are very insecure about the other person being attracted to them. And, it's almost like she has her weight loss as a selling point and she's working on it and this and that. But I feel like they put these insecurities to the forefront way too soon. And to me, I think it's not going to work. This is just what I'm thinking right now. So, in the beginning, she talks about I don't want to scare him away when I don't have on my makeup and everything. So we already know how she feels about herself regardless. You know what I mean? Jose talks about, they always ask, are you going to consummate the marriage, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why they always ask them that on the first episode, right after the wedding. But he says, I'm not really expecting it, but if she wants it, I couldn't turn it down because it wouldn't really be masculine of me to say no. I would have to say yes. And I'm thinking, I was thinking two things. First thing I was thinking was okay, that's really sad if somebody explained to him that masculinity is that you can't turn down a sexual advance if you don't want it, you don't feel comfortable, you're not attracted to the person. Why do you equate that with not being masculine? You know what I mean? And then I'm also wondering, does somebody ever in his life have people been challenging his masculinity? Because to me, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but to me, some of his mannerisms are effeminate. So maybe that has been an issue for him where it's I have to be uber masculine in order to prove myself. So for me to turn down a woman, I can never do that because that wouldn't show my masculinity. And then I was thinking is everything that he is, everything he talks about, is he peacocking? You know what I mean? Oh, I got my master's. I did this. You know what I mean? It's he has to sell himself and let you know that I'm ready. He's I did all this to get ready for a wife, as if he had to prepare himself, almost as if a woman, the same way a woman traditionally would in a way. I've saved myself for marriage. I'm able to cook and clean, back 50, 60 years ago, I'm able to do this and now I'm ready for a husband. It's almost like he did the same thing, but in reverse. But I don't know. We'll come back to that thought. This is the episode where they have to meet each other's families for brunch right before they head off to the honeymoon. So he meets with her family first and they tell him that she's a little bit messy. And, remember, he has high standards. So he's kind of looking oh, damn. And apparently she has a messy car. She's kind of whatever. I mean, those are small things, but to me, he seems a little, I think he's very particular. He always talks about he has his high standards. He has his checklist. He almost has, they have to meet all these different things for him, and messiness is not one of them. He's a little bit anal. So we'll see how he deals with this, but it kind of seemed like it turns him off a little bit when he heard that. The family says she doesn't tell you when she's upset. She kind of keeps mental notes. And it's like, okay. He's like, all right, that's something I have to deal with. But when he brings it up to her later, she was kind of like, I don't do that anymore. I've gotten to the point where I do tell you when and why I'm upset and all that kind of stuff. But I do keep mental notes on people, which I understand. Sometimes you might be upset about something and not bring it up at the time and just kind of say, listen, I just, this is something that I'm going to remember about that person. You know what I mean? Which I can understand sometimes. I feel like I do that too. The family, they say that she doesn't want to be perceived in a relationship as annoying. She is very, it seems like she is very overly self-conscious about how other people will perceive her. It was just so interesting that of all things she would say she doesn't want to be seen as annoying. So maybe this is something that she's been told in the past several times by a lot of people, like, oh, you're really annoying, pipe down. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Maybe she is annoying. I don't know. But she then meets with his family, and she brings up, you know, I know he has a very structured, they've been calling it a structured personality, that everything has to go, you know, he's very regimented, he's by the book, he wants everything to go perfect his way. She talks about, they say he's a financial guy, you know, he is so interested in his credit score, and she says, listen, I'm not a big saver, you know what I mean, like I'm able to do what I need to do, but I don't save, I splurge. So it just feels like this is another one where it's like we have, again, two complete opposites. I know you're trying to do the opposites attract, you can help each other thing, but that's very hard to do when you're just kind of placing two people together. So we'll see. So then they talk, and you know, he talks again about how he did all this work to make sure that he wouldn't have any debt, so that when he got into a relationship he could just focus on them, which is great, but that is what you did. I can understand him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm somebody who, luckily, I'm not in debt, you know what I mean? And I don't stay in debt. I don't understand. Other people are comfortable being in debt. It doesn't faze them. They're like, whatever, I'll pay it off when I get to it. I don't like that. That's an uncomfortable feeling for me. And I would like other people that I'm dating, like if I were thinking about getting into a very serious relationship, I would want them to think the same way I do about it. Like, let's just not live in debt. You know what I mean? Because it makes life so much easier. And I think that that's where he's coming from. But the way he's talking to her is like, I'll fix it. We'll handle it. It's almost like, okay, this wasn't in my plan. This wasn't on my checklist. So I'm just going to fix that for you so that we can move past this obstacle. And it's almost like he's going to, like, basically she's going to have to let him fix it. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if it's like a controlling thing, or if it's like, it's kind of like, this wasn't in my box, so I have to make you fit into the person that I want you to be. I have to turn you into the perfect wife, the person that I wanted. He reminds me of Cisco from Drew Hill. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Wife Swap. He has a wife, and he like pulls out, he like makes her, I think that he picks out their outfits every day so that they're matching in colors or in patterns every day. So she can't, please close the door. Sorry guys. So she doesn't really leave unless he's picked out her clothing and they match. And very anal about the house. Everything is perfect, pristine, clean, in line. And people have also questioned his masculinity. So I'm wondering if it's something like, I have to put out this perfect image and you have to, I don't know, I can't, let me know what you guys think. I can't put my finger on it. I can't really articulate it well, but it's just interesting. He reminds me in the same way of Cisco. What happened? Interesting, they were packing to go to the honeymoon, and she's like, I don't want you to bring condoms. I'm trying to have a baby. Okay. That's very interesting when people say that, and you just met the person yesterday. They're like brushing their teeth and stuff, and she's like, oh, I left my electric brush at home. I'm brushing. And he's like, I can brush your teeth. And it was obviously a joke, but then she gets in the confessional, and she's kind of like, I don't know how I felt about that. I'm old enough to brush my own teeth. Like, duh, I think he was just kidding, but I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think about them. Marla and Gil. Marla's a piece of work. And that's why I'm like, I'm just going to have to do a separate video where I talk about these folks separately. But she's a piece of work. She is absolutely high maintenance. She is absolutely, she's just way too much. And she's very hard to please. So, you know, they're on... No, this is the day before. This is, I think, the night before, like right after the wedding. They're talking, and they find out both of their dads were killed. And you know, he offers the story what happened to his dad, and she says, "I talk about it way too much. I don't want to talk about it right now." Okay. At the time, I was thinking, like, this is a perfect time for you to be vulnerable and you to connect. But she decided not to. I don't know how recently her dad was murdered. I don't know the story, but it was just interesting the way she handled that. He offered her a foot rub, and she was just kind of like, not gonna happen. The way that she talks is so authoritative and matter of fact. There's like no type of softness. It could make you feel, I would feel like, damn, you know what I mean? Because she's just kind of cold. And it's like, he's trying to be nice to you. Like, if you were falling asleep and you're tired, whatever, get the foot, let him rub your feet. He wants to care for you, and then fall asleep. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? But I don't think this is gonna go well at all for either one of them. So remember, I think her parents or her mom was at the wedding. I don't know why. He met with her friends though. It was 3 male friends, and he kind of was just like, oh, this is easy, I'll be talking to the guys. And Gil, I think he asked, are there any red flags? Or somebody asked, and he brings up finances. And this is something that I think that they talk about later in the episode, but they're kind of like, they kind of tell him, that she's high maintenance, you know what I mean? And I think he already knows going into this, like, okay, this woman he's thinking maybe making more than me, she's high maintenance, I won't be able to please her. And this is exactly what he said he didn't want. So this is another one where it's like opposites, the whole thing, opposites attract, is not attracting, you know what I mean? So Marla meets with his friends, and she off the bat says, when I don't sleep, I'm moody. And they're kind of like, okay, I understand that. But she just kept talking about, I told her about moody, Like, it's a little too early for you to be moody. You know what I mean? You should be on the excitement high if you're really interested in him. Like, the moodiness right after the wedding, I feel like is just a precursor for what's to come. Because I feel like she's going to be a hot mess. They told her that one of his pet peeves is if you say one thing but you do something else. He's not gonna like that. I guess he wants you to be an authentic person. Don't tell me this about yourself and then be another way. And they also say that he's a dog lover, and she says she does not love dogs at all. They're slobbery, they shed, they this and that, and it's almost like everything that is a no-go for her, she doesn't want to budge on. There's no compromise. There's no, like, and that's the problem. Like, she's coming into this situation and unable to bend or be empathetic, and this is going to be a problem because he seems really like a sweet guy, you know what I mean, who just wants to meet a nice woman. So they go on honeymoon, and they sent them to the Florida Keys, and which is fine because it's a pandemic. There were probably issues with them leaving the country. They want to make it easier. The Keys are nice, you know what I mean, but you're in the States or what have you. She's complaining as soon as she gets in. She doesn't like the room. She feels like the neighbors, like the terraces are too close when she goes in the balcony. It would be fine, but her pool at home is bigger than this pool. She doesn't like the view. Something is wrong with the view of the ocean. And he's like, but we have a view, like, it's nice. She calls it a senior citizen resort. Like, that's where she feels that she is. I don't know where she got that from. Gil, I give it to him. He kept trying to find a positive of everything, and she just complains about everything. I'm thinking, this is a free honeymoon that you're on. You know what I mean? Like, it's a pandemic. They're doing the best they can. It's a free honeymoon. She thought the room was too small. Like, are you kidding me? I do not like people like this. She is the type of person, like, even before they left, they gave them a gift bag. And, they have the his and hers caps. And she first said, Gil took his out. She said, where's mine? And so then she said, okay, here's mine. But she has like a sloppy bun on the top. And she's like, well, I can't wear mine. So she can't wear the hat. Then they give her like the little, forgot what it's called, the thing that goes over your eyes to help you go to sleep. I can't wear that because I have eyelashes. She is coming off as very high maintenance, very materialistic, very unable to just like go with the flow and just kind of like be a cool person. Like, especially in the beginning, those things you need to, if it's gonna mess up your messy bun, like, just do it. You know what I'm saying? In order to just not take one for the team, but just seem like you're trying to be in a partnership. You're trying to have fun. You're able to go along with it. You know what I mean? And that you're not so, I would even think, even if I felt that way, that would turn off a guy, because they don't want to deal with somebody who can't do anything with them. You know what I mean? And he's kind of like, he even said like, well, what can you do? So now she's complaining on the honeymoon. What does she say? Liana, I'm filming. So like, especially on vacation, I don't even like to travel with people who can't do anything. Oh, I can't get my hair wet. Oh, I can't do this. My eyelashes are gonna fall off. Oh, I can't, like, that's no fun. You know what I mean? So I, as a woman, wouldn't even want to be on a trip with her because she seems like a buzzkill. Like, if you don't get over it, like, you're supposed to be putting, and you're supposed to be giving like the best impression of yourself. I know we want to see the real, but like, even I would be like, all right, let me just, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to seem appreciative. A guy doesn't like somebody who seems like they're so hard to please and that they find fault with everything. And then you realize she really has no self-awareness, because she says at some point, I'm not hard to please. And he's like, are you serious? Like, yes, you are. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know how this is gonna work, because he seems, we don't even know, maybe he's assuming that he doesn't have as much money as her, but he's a firefighter. I don't know what he's making, but we don't know if he owns property. We don't know what kind of investments this guy has. We don't know what's going on. So excuse me. I always tell people, don't be quick to feel like you don't have as much as others, or you're the underdog, because you don't know what people are not telling you. So either way, Ryan and Brett. Ryan is reminding me of the other Brett, the one who says they're coming into it for this reason, and then when they get there, he's just not giving what it's supposed to give. He has he just has a face that looks like he's just unimpressed, what they call resting bitch face. Everybody says he looks tired. I don't talk about people looking tired because I have like natural bags under my eyes and they're just gonna be there. So whatever. Sorry about the sirens. It's New York. He's not, he talks a good game, but I'm concerned. His family, she meets with his family, and they tell her like he usually dates potatoes, meaning that I'm guessing he dates pretty women that don't have much substance, don't have much personality, don't speak up for themselves. Like, that's what I'm getting, and it's very easy for him because he probably doesn't have much substance either, and they don't challenge him much. What we see from Brett, and like I already like her because when she meets with his family, you know, she's very straightforward. She seems to be blunt. She seems to be outspoken. She does have a lot of personality. There's an issue with, you know, red hair. I don't know why they keep talking about her red hair. He never dates redheads. It's the first time he's dating a redhead, blah, blah, blah. He meets with her family and he's like, redheads are beautiful or they're not. This is how you're going to open a discussion? Like, why don't you say, no, I find your daughter to be extremely beautiful? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird way to start. The father said, do you have any questions about her? He has no questions. That's like going on an interview. You always want to, even if you don't know questions, Google them. What questions should I ask on the interview? You know what I mean? Like, you should want to know something about the person that you're marrying. Like, even if you said something as simple as, what does she like to do? What makes her laugh? You know, what was her childhood like growing up? It doesn't even have to be anything deep, but you want to show interest. You know what I mean? Especially on the second day of knowing this woman. No questions about her. So he's just like, blah. Do you have any expectations? None. Like, you're not giving us anything. You know what I mean? And it seems to us that you're not interested because you're not even putting in the effort to even think and say, let me, like, even if I didn't care, like, at least I would know. I mean, maybe I just know how to, like, BS some things. You know what I mean? Like, let me just pretend that I like this person. And I would ask some questions. Like, what were their favorite childhood games? Like, anything. You know what I mean? I don't know. He's not, I don't know. Something about him seems a little bit off. The way he has a very emotionless face. People saying he's a little scary. I don't know. All right, either way. Now, let's go back to Brett with his family. You know, they say Ryan wants to be authentic and real. You know, you kind of have to banter with him a lot. And she's like, well, that's what I do. That's what I do all day. You know what I mean? And they keep saying he's kind of shy. You have to pull him out of his shell. Like, what? I can't get him because I thought that as well too in the beginning. But then when he was dancing and he had all this personality at the wedding, I'm like, you don't really have to pull him out of his shell too much. You know what I mean? Like, he seems okay. But whatever, she's straightforward. So this might be a little bit of an issue. I hope that he doesn't do her the same way that Brett did Olivia, I think her name was, because that was a hot mess. You know, they talk or whatever, and he says, you know, I don't really have to be pulled out of my shell anymore and the whole thing, because like it would suck if she would have to come into this and have to put in all this work because you're like shy or whatever, I don't know, and just not being forthcoming, but whatever. So they're on a honeymoon. So she tells him before they go on a honeymoon that she's afraid of flying, which is a common fear, you know what I mean? And she just he offered like no comfort when she said it. She was like, and so he was like, I like to travel. She said, no, I like to travel too, but it's just the flight getting there. I completely understand her. I'm afraid of flying. I didn't used to be. It got worse over the years for some reason. Maybe I just had some horrible flights and like, I don't know. I used to get like terrible anxiety. Like it was like my heart was beating so fast, the whole thing. So like, I know with my fiance, and he knows, I don't know if it could be annoying to him, but at least it provides some, like he already knows that whenever we say, he says, all right, he says, let's go to Vegas, or let's go to California, or wherever he wants to go, let's go to Belize or whatever. I'm always going to say to him, how long is the flight? You know, this time, like, I don't know, and he'll tell me, like, I just ask certain questions, like, I just want to know how long, and all this kind of stuff before I even say I want to go. I guess that provides me some comfort. Like, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's small things like that you can do just to show that you are supportive of your spouse. You don't even know her, and he still provided no comfort. Like, all he had to say was, I got you. I got you. In the beginning, you know, my fiance used to always be like, and he works on planes, there's no fear there for him. My nose is always running when I'm doing these videos. You know, he's like, listen, I got you. Nothing's going to happen to you, the whole thing. Even though I don't know how he could have me in the plane, you know what I'm saying? She's not flying in the plane, but it provides some comfort. I have to edit this. So yeah, he just doesn't give me that he's going to give her what she needs. So apparently they got on the flight, and I guess she said that he calmed her down on the plane. So I'm like, okay, he put in a little bit of effort. That's the thing. He doesn't want to put in the effort. You know what I mean? But either way, they say that he calmed her down on the plane, and then they were talking about it, and she I believe she was thanking him, and he was like, I don't know if he said it to her or in the confessional. I know that he said to her, yeah, that was going to be a huge disaster. We were almost having a huge disaster or something like that because of her behavior on the plane. And then I believe he said, like, he used to date a lot, and if he had saw her behavior on the plane, there would not have been another date. I'm like, okay, wow. What did she do? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what happened? Like, was she just like, oh my God, I'm freaking out? Like, what was going on that's so bad to say that if this was not a marriage situation, that you would not date her again? I just found that so cold and callous. And to say it so soon in the marriage makes me feel like you're already over it. I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but that turned me off about him. I didn't like that. So, Michaela and Zach. Michaela is giving me Hurricane K, I think they call her. She is very, she gives a lot of emotion. She gives a lot. You know what I mean? And that's going to go either way. She gives a lot on the positive side, but also when things get thick, she's going to give a lot on the negative side. And I can already, we're going to see something, I think, in the next episode. It's like, dang, girl. But we like Michaela. Zach is the sweetest thing. She meets with Zach meets with her sisters, and he just really is giving a great spiel, like, you have to love him. He said he's excited with her. He is going to protect her, and, you know, the sisters give this whole, we want to know that they're going to protect her, da-da-da. I mean, I guess that's what you're supposed to say. In the same time, if she's been single all this time, who's been protecting her? She's been protecting herself, right? But whatever. Michaela meets with his family and the dad. The mom doesn't look too happy about meeting with her. I think mom is very extra, like, protective over her boys. They all look exactly alike. She just isn't really, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think mom is in this. Dad kind of says that he's spoiled, and he's like, all the boys are spoiled by their mom. She thanked Zach's dad for dancing with her, which they didn't show us in the original wedding. And he didn't know why. I think, I'm like, is this scripted? I don't know. Sometimes they do stuff, the producers, just to get people talking. Because I'm like, when you're planning a wedding, you kind of already plan, like, okay, the bride's dad is deceased, so we're not going to do a dad-daughter dance, or we're going to do it this way or whatever. But he acted like he didn't know. Because in the wedding, it was like she was sitting there, and they're like, Michaela, get on the floor with your dad. And she's sitting there, and everybody's looking around, and he comes over. Like, somebody must have said, I think they did that on purpose, you know what I mean? And then they told him, oh, go ask her to dance or whatever. And she explains that her father was killed by a drunk driver. She gets emotional. I don't know why it made me emotional at the time. It was really sad. But she was very happy that he stepped in. That was very nice of her. And this conversation was kind of uncomfortable because I feel like the father was pressing it on thick. Like, we're hoping this is forever. Like, we need you to be with him forever. We need you to do this, this, and that. And I just think it's too soon for that. Like, a lot of the other families, when they meet, they're like, get to know each other. You know, don't rush. Spend time to get to know each other. But it's kind of like, we met yesterday and you're already putting all this pressure on me that we want to know this is forever. Like, we don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know if you want her to be with him forever because you don't know her either. You know what I mean? It was just like a lot. If I was her, I'd be like, okay, that's too much. Let's see. Oh, I had a note about Gil and Merlo on this page for some reason, because they had a difference between him saying he's not driven by money and she says she is, and she always wants more. So I was just gonna say this is gonna be an issue, but either way, that's them. Either way, they go on the honeymoon and they consummate their marriage, Michaela and Zach, and then they find out that he may have COVID. So next week we see how that's going to go out. I believe he's going to have to quarantine himself or whatever, however it's going to be, and that's going to be an issue. Lastly, we have Bao and Johnny. And this is a couple that everybody likes. It seems like it was like a match made in heaven because they knew each other previously and she had a little crush on him. Nothing happened. Johnny had to spend that last 10 years being a player. Now he's ready to settle down. They're both Vietnamese, and, you know, so it seems to be a match made in heaven. So Johnny meets with her friends and her family or somebody, and they explain the whole reaction with him sending her the gift before the wedding, where he sent her a sports jersey and she completely freaked out and she wasn't sure about it, and it was an overreaction, and he felt that way. He's like, I think that was an overreaction, like, you know. But the whole thing was that she saw the sports thing and already assumed he would be this complete sports fanatic type of person, and she was like, I want a Nobel Prize winner. You know what I mean? And that was probably just her nerves, but it was also like what she had envisioned. And she's like, I don't want a bro, the whole thing. I'll go into that in one of the other videos. But he was just like, okay, that was a bit of an overreaction, you know, from what they told her. And he wants to know, is this typical of her reactions? You know what I mean? Like, is this something that she does all the time when something doesn't go her way? He explains that he was a dater. He would move on fast. And I guess he was just enjoying life, just kind of going through time, trying to find a person. Now, Bao meets with his mom. And it was nice because when they first met, she said, you can call me mom. You know what I mean? You don't have to call me anything formal. The aunt was there. And, you know, at some point, you know, they started talking about kids and all this kind of stuff. And the aunt was like, well, then you guys can have kids and he could be Mr. Mom. Bao did not like that, talking about him staying home, be Mr. Mom. I think her vision is to have two very smart people. I forgot what she does. I have to go back. And they're just like a power couple, and they both work at everything. Whatever it was, that rubbed her the wrong way, saying that he could stay home and be Mr. Mom, because she seems to want an alpha male. She doesn't want, and she wants somebody who is kind of nerdy, you know, overly smart, structured. She doesn't want a sports guy, this, you know what I mean? So I don't know, we'll see how this goes. You know, she asked about his dad, asked his mom, and they were kind of like, dad had moved to California very early in his life, so he really didn't raise Johnny. And so she talks to him about it, and, you know, he became emotional. It's almost like every time he talks about his dad, he becomes very emotional. So there's a lot of unresolved issues there. And he says, you know, my dad's kind of stuck in the 70s. He thinks everything should be traditional. Da, 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 da. I get it, but at the same time, Dad, you weren't even there to raise me. So how do you have so much to say about, you know, what I'm doing in my life? Thank you. Oh, they brought me a smoothie. Sure, don't work. Have a blueberry smoothie, y'all. So, you know, I get it. I think it's one of those things when your dad isn't there, you want to do so much to prove to them that you are the man that they expect you to be. You're doing everything that you expect because you want to receive that love from them, the love that they didn't give you. Like, you keep wanting to receive it. So I want to do anything I can to make them, you know what I mean, make them, you know, love me and be proud of me. And I want to make sure that I live up to their expectations. But it's almost like, when you think about it, it's like, why? Like, he left. He didn't even raise you. You know what I mean? If your mom is fine with what's going on and she put in all the work, like, you're fine. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. So, you know, she says, she kind of like calms him down, you know, and she's like, listen, your dad is going to be fine. He's going to come around, and I know it because I'm really good with dads, and I'm going to work him over. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to fall in love with me. So he was kind of relieved about that. So they go on the honeymoon, and you know, they have like the sheets and everything. Like, there was like some joke. They have like the Chinese spread sheets or whatever. No, that was the night before. But the honeymoon, what do I have? What the heck? Oh, that's what I put. I was thinking about, I put spreadsheets. I was thinking about when they had that whole Chinese sheet. That was in the first room they were in. They're packing for the honeymoon, and she makes spreadsheets for everything. And she is so basically everything she has to pack, 2 white t-shirts, 2 underwear, everything is spreadsheet. Like, everything she does is a spreadsheet. And he's like, okay. He's like, I do checklists, but this is like me to the extreme. And he thinks it's really cute and unique now, but I feel like that's something that can get on your nerves in the long run, right? So, you know, they get ready for bed, and Bao comes up, and she's like, okay, why are you in this bed? And he's looking at her like, am I not supposed to be in the bed? Like, remember the night before they slept and they put like a barrier of pillows in between them. And so now he's like, okay, am I not supposed to? And she's like, I don't want anything to come between me and my good sleep. Girl, you moving backwards. Like, he's allowing you to put the pillows in between you. He's completely going to respect you. No problem. But she is like at some point you might have to sacrifice. Like, he was like, I don't care, I would sacrifice my good sleep for her if it meant sleeping with somebody who snored and da-da-da. Like, you have to try, you know. And sometimes these people are so stuck in their ways, they don't even know how to try. And this is why the experts need to come in a little bit earlier, like they used to, and kind of get them through these little humps. Like, you have to loosen up a bit, you know what I mean? So they talk about, you know, her sexual preferences and everything, and she appreciated it. And she told him that the way that he has been with her has been nothing but respectful. So she has an idea that, you know, they're on the right track pretty much. And he explains, I like vanilla sex. I'm not into S&M and all that crazy stuff. And, you know, it was a nice conversation. And, you know, she appreciates that. It seems that when we get there that everything is going to be okay. I'm going to feel that he respects me, the whole thing. And he said, as long as she wants anything that she needs, you know, I'm just going to wait. I don't want to push her because I don't want to push her too far, you know, but it's going to be an issue because I feel like they're going to be moving at 2 different speeds. She's going to be moving very, very slow. And remember, he's a player, so he's used to whatever, and he's very into her. So we're going to see how this goes. Either way, let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, leave me some comments in the box, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, thank you for joining Reality with T. Bye bye.